In this video, I show you how your brain tricks you all the time. And I give you some powerful insights and techniques that lead to more happiness and self-confidence. Hi, it's Bijan here. I'm a life coach with a background in hypnotherapy and systemic therapy. My passion is to help others explore and change their inner subconscious pattern. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I would really appreciate an early thumbs up. This really helps my channel to grow. Our brain is really fooling us very often. And I will give you powerful tools and insights that help you understand this better, and then you feel really more happy, hopefully, and also more self-confident. If you rate actually your happiness level from 0 to 10, which number would you give yourself? Let's say 0 is super unhappy and 10 is super happy. So keep this number in mind and see how it is afterwards. One key thing I emphasize almost in all of my videos is like your emotions are influenced by your thoughts. And even more, it's almost like if we look at functionality of our brain, our thoughts creating directly our emotions. And we have some programs in our mind which come from a very, very old time. It's always Stone Age, where all these programs were super helpful to live in a surrounding where lions or whatever hunted you, and there were dangers around every corner, so it served you pretty well in this surrounding. But unfortunately, it doesn't serve us very good in our modern society surroundings anymore. The opposite is the case. They're leading more to usually unhappiness, sometimes to anxiety, to depression. So many things can happen out of this. So it's really powerful to understand these techniques our brain uses, and with this knowledge, then you can like steer against and work out of this negative pattern. Let's go right into it. So one thing our brain tends to do, it's called like all or nothing thinking. So whether you think like, oh, I'm a total fool, I'm an idiot, it's the worst, or you think I'm the greatest, everything is fine. So there's usually no gray shades, there's just black and white. And so our brain, especially when it's about us, and unfortunately, it's often like to the negative, like you're an idiot, you're a fool, whatever. So this is what our brain does. Another thing is called like mental filters, and also connected to this, disqualifying the positive things. So our brain tends to filter the negative. Let's say, for example, you do a test, you get 6 grades, 5 grades are okay, are good, and 1 grade is bad. So usually what happens, your brain tends to focus on the negative and complains about the negative, or why I got this bad grade here. So instead of looking at 5 very good grades. Another example, you post something on social media and you get like 10 very positive good comments and 1 bad comment, and then your brain freaks out because you were complaining and thinking just about the bad comment. So this is a thing our brain, I guess, tends to do because of seeing potential dangers everywhere. But it doesn't serve you to feel good and to feel happy. So what you can do, try to actively observe this and try to actively focus on the 5 good grades and on the 10 good posts and on all the positive things which are happening, at the same time also negative things happening. Another technique our brain uses is called like jumping to conclusions, mind reading. So we tend to read others' minds. I have a very fun example from my past. So I once gave a speech in a speech club, and it was a small audience, like 20 people maybe. I started with my speech and there was one person pretty in front of me which looked at me like this. And I almost got out of my talk flow because I got insecure, and I thought, like, what is he thinking? Does he think I talk nonsense, or doesn't he agree with what I'm saying? So I had some mind reading techniques to assume what he's thinking in the situation. Couple of other meetings forward, after a while, after weeks, I realized this guy had trouble hearing, and I realized he's looking almost to every person in front there was talking like this. So it was not at all like a bad thinking or anything about my speech or anything. It was just he's not hearing, and probably he wasn't aware of how his face looked. Yeah, that's a funny example. Like, this is a truth. This is what your mind's made out of it, and it's so far away from each other. It's crazy. Another thing is our mind tends to do fortune telling. So I'm pretty sure you hear the term, whether it's from yourself or from others, that people are saying, oh, I will never find the right partner, I will never find my soulmate, or I will never succeed in this or in that. So this is also a thing you hear very common. Yeah, so probably this is very extreme also, and you never know. So usually this kind of statement is nonsense because you don't know, basically. Another technique our brain uses are should statements. Pretty sure you heard about it. I should do this, I should do that, I should exercise more, I should do this today, why I should do that. So instead of looking also at positive things and things maybe you already achieved or accomplished, there's always this should. Very carefully watch this. Emotional reasoning is another thing called our brain does. It means basically you assume because you feel a certain way, the truth is also that it is like this. And yeah, this is also basically not the case. If you feel like another person is this or that, it doesn't have to be like that. Another thing our brain does, labeling, mislabeling. So we're pretty quick putting people in boxes, also putting stamps on ourselves, on others. Usually it goes around with very harsh words as well. So you could say to yourself, oh, I'm such a fool. Or other people can be judged, like a waiter can say, oh, what's it for an old grumpy man there ordering now. Yeah, so this is also pretty dangerous because you're assuming things on your first glance, and then it doesn't mean it's really the reality. These mind techniques are pretty good if you want to read more about this stuff, are pretty good explored in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT therapy. So I can give you a link in the description below to a very good book I really like, and what you can do about it. So I would recommend take a break, maybe at the end of the day, or even do 2 breaks in the middle of the day and 1 at the end of the day, and write down what was going on in your head, what thoughts are circling there, and then go through it step by step and ask yourself, really, is this really the truth, what I'm thinking there? Are these thoughts the truth? And what you will find out, often they're not, and often they're far away from the truth. So this is really important to realize. A very powerful technique also from CBT therapy is called the double standard technique, it's called. So imagine you have a dear friend. Let's say her name is Sarah. And let's assume this friend is here and it's like a copy of you. Let's say this friend actually faces the same challenge than you are actually facing. And this friend, so Sarah, asks you, let's see, I have this and this trouble actually. I struggle with this and this situation. Could you give me advice, please? What do you think about it? Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think whatever it is? And then imagine you have to answer to Sarah and tell Sarah what to do. And this is very powerful because there you see, usually you never talk to your good friend like you talk to yourself. And this shows that you measuring with double standards. So you basically like giving your friend totally different perspective and more empathy and more understanding compared how you do it to yourself. And if you realize this, and if you manage to switch your inner voice from always beating you up in being a very good friend to yourself and supporting yourself, this really leads to more happiness, more fulfillment, and also more self-confidence for you. So I hope this is helpful. I really appreciate that you're here with me. Would really appreciate a thumbs up. This helps my channel to grow, and I'm happy to see you in my next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.